wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself. This is a show by people. Belize our hopes up to needless reason. Nobody feel left out. Is the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Love, respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes. WB. And all the things that must be happen like I got blue skies. I love to make people get victimized. Let's work together for better. We got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Get up, make every day count. Don't waste it, people. Do your part, play a role, get where you need to. You can tune in from work or in your vehicle. If you got a problem, pick up the phone. Why wait? It's a time calling. It's a show with no matter even if you're at home. Just calling. WB. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice our opinion.
Morning and wake up, Belize. It's that time of the morning. If you're not wake up yet, well, if you don't need to wake up, you don't have to wake up. But we mean wake up mentally, wake up spiritually, wake up, Belize. It's that time of the morning for the Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes Talk Show here at XTV, simulcasting on Crumb Radio. I'm Sister YaYa, Marin Coleman, sitting in for week 6 for Most High, but he'll be back next Monday, May 12th for sure. And so we're here until 9 o'clock in the morning. You could get up on XTV Belize YouTube page, XTV Belize Facebook page. Share the link. Tell everybody that time for we lock in. Usual morning lineup. We have the weather forecast by the National Meteorological Service of Belize. And the forecaster is Crystal Rosales. And then we're going quickly into the news brief prepared by XTV Newsroom. It takes a while, still over here, you know, I still talk about Crumb TV. XTV Newsroom. And then we'll take one quick break, come back, open up the phone lines, and we are reason.
Good morning. Generally fair weather continues over the country. For our forecast, skies will be sunny with a few cloudy spells today and then clear to partly cloudy tonight. Little or rain is expected. And then high temperatures will reach around 88 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 96 degrees Fahrenheit inland, and then 84 degrees Fahrenheit in the mountains. Low temperatures for tonight will reach around 82 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 74 degrees Fahrenheit inland, and then 68 degrees Fahrenheit in the mountains. Winds over the open sea will be from the east to southeast at 10 to 20 knots, and then sea conditions will be light chop, with high tides occurring at 6:17 this morning and then at 6:09 this evening. Low tides at 12:05 this afternoon and then at 12:43 tomorrow morning. The moon will rise at 1:39 this afternoon and then set at 2:16 tomorrow morning. And then sunset is at 6:14 this evening and sunrise at 5:23 tomorrow morning. For the extended forecast, generally fair and mostly dry weather will continue on Wednesday, with isolated showers developing late Wednesday night. And then in the fire risk forecast, the risk for forest and brush fires will remain high. And lastly, for the sargassum update, satellite imagery and surface observations continue to show large quantities of sargassum over our area, and this is expected to continue for the next several days. This has been this morning's weather report from the National Meteorological Service.
The first private radio in Belize since 1989. FM presents the news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports. And now, the news.
fatally shot Monday morning before 7 in Doublehead Cabbage in the Belize district. The man has been identified as 36-year-old Aaron Lindo. According to police, Lindo was walking towards a bus stop in the village when two gunmen appeared from behind vegetation along the road and fired shots at him. Lindo sustained multiple gunshot injuries and died on the scene. ACP Hilbert Romero told the media that police still have no suspects.
This morning around 6:45 a.m., police responded to a shooting at Doublehead Cabbage. Upon arrival, they saw the lifeless body of a male person identified as Aaron Lindo, 36 years, with several gunshot injuries. Information is that Lindo was walking to catch a bus in the area along with two other persons when two male persons came out of the bushes and they fired several shots at him, causing his fatal injuries. Investigation into this matter is ongoing.
Any motive?
We have no motive at this time and no suspects.
Lindo was allegedly an affiliate of a gang here in Belize City, where the weekend saw another alleged member.
Yes, we have that information and then we are following up on that lead.
The chairman from the village says that they are now calling for police presence, a greater police presence in that community. Any plans?
Well, we have the River Valley Patrol and certainly, yes, I think an additional patrol will be placed in that area.
Hours later, a man was fatally shot in Ladyville, Belize district, shortly after midday on Monday. He has been identified as Nelson Mong Henry. According to police, Henry was walking on Yellowtail Street when he was approached by two men on a motorcycle who fired several shots at him. Henry sustained multiple gunshot wounds and died on the scene. Police currently have no suspects but believe the crime to be gang-related.
12:20 p.m. Police responded to a shooting at Yellowtail Street in Ladyville. Upon the arrival, they saw the lifeless body of a male person. He was identified as Nelson Henry of Majestic Island. He had received several gunshot injuries. Information that he was walking around with a female in the area when a motorcycle came to the area. The person came off the motorcycle, fired several shots at him, causing his fatal injuries. This just occurred around midday, so that is all information we have at this time. No suspects have been identified nor detained.
Does police suspect that it's gang related?
Yeah, we suspect it is gun related.
And related in any way to the one this morning?
We are not sure. We are looking at all information we are gathering, so we will make a determination if they are connected.
But they are rivaling groups, the BLC and the PIB, involved?
Yes, we have these shootings as a result of these two rival groups.
We had reported that 27-year-old Jimmy Rojas was shot and injured early on Saturday morning in Belize City. ACP Gilberto Romero said that police immediately responded and that another man was also injured.
Police immediately responded and there was an exchange of gunshots and another male person was also shot. He was identified as Eric Fraser. He's presently at the KHMH, also in a stable condition. Investigation into this shooting continues.
Are you able to say who was the intended target?
Jimmy Rojas was the intended target.
Motive for his shooting?
Gang rivalry between two groups.
Is it believed to be some sort of retaliation for the murder of Jose Matos, which he's accused of?
Well, we know that murder happened last year, so we're looking at it likewise, where he was a suspect. So all of that information we're looking at.
CP Romero told the media that police believe the attempted murder of Rojas may have prompted Monday's two fatal shootings.
Was the shooting of Jimmy Rojas sort of a prelude to these murders?
It began with the attempted murder of Rojas. That was the first person that was shot. Thereafter, we had the Marin Doublehead Cabbage, and then now the shooting in Ladyville.
Are you able to say if police are contemplating a state of emergency?
I cannot say at this time. We will look at the information and see where it goes from there.
But the police, does the police, how concerned are police at this time, given we saw two murders in less than 24 hours and a gang-related shooting?
Yes, we are concerned and several operations will be launched to try to minimize the incidence of retaliation.
Have additional boots been placed on the ground since the shooting of Rojas?
Yes, additional personnel have been deployed to the city, correct.
Are you able to, I know you may not be in a position to speak about state of emergency, but are you able to say whether or not police are looking to have any mediation talks with these rivaling groups?
Again, we have all of our programs, and so we're looking at everything. We've approached this incident and see where we go from here.
Reports coming from the north are that a man, Zakir Witz, is on the run after injuring his father, Sahir Witz. We understand that Sahir Witz was socializing with his family in Louisville, Corozal, and was consuming alcoholic beverages when an argument broke out. Sakir Witz then allegedly grabbed a machete and inflicted several chop wounds on the body of Sahir Witz. Neighbors report hearing screams and noted that Sahir Witz was bleeding profusely. Sahir Witz was rushed to the Northern Regional Hospital for treatment. ACP Gilberto Romero confirmed that Sakir Witz is currently on the run.
On Sunday, the 4th day of May 2025, police responded to a chopping incident at Louisville Village in the Corozal district. Upon the arrival, they saw Sahir Witz with injuries to the body. Information is that he was involved in a fight with his family members, at which point his son Zakir Witz inflicted several chop wounds to him. He is presently at the hospital in a stable condition. We are looking for Zakir Witz. He has not been located since they have been consuming alcoholic beverages, and that is what led to a fight, and that is what led to this chopping incident.
Is he on the run?
Yes, he is. He has not been located as yet.
Were they intoxicated?
Yes, they were.
Can you know the nature of the argument that led to the chopping?
Some family dispute they had, and a fight ensued, and that is what led to this chopping.
Can you speak to the extent of his injuries?
Well, he's in a stable condition at this time. He's receiving treatment, still hospitalized.
According to a neighbor, Sahir Witz had an argument with his wife and he hit her, causing her to fall and faint. This caused Zakir Witz to believe that Sahir had killed her, and Zakir rushed to defend his mother. Sahir then allegedly hit Zakir twice with a machete. According to the neighbor, Zakir then returned a bit later, where he then inflicted chop wounds on his father. The neighbor said that community members tried to stop Zakir, but were unsuccessful. And that brings us to the end of this morning news brief. Immediately after WB from 9 to 12, you could tune into Creme Radio for hear more news, commentary, affirmation, callers giving for them 2 cents per whatever they want to talk about. And then at 12:30, there's a full news package on Creme Radio. At 3 o'clock, there's a news brief. And at 5:15, they have one full news package. Here at XTV, at 6 o'clock, there's a full news package. So I'll take one quick break, come back, and open up the phone line.
The first private radio in Belize since 1989. The news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports.
to Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes for this morning, Tuesday, May 6th. My last day for 58, so I have to remember the date. You can call the number at 280-5848 and you can talk about anything you want to talk about. Make I read my affirmation with you this morning because I have to hold some people accountable this morning. So my affirmation say, this is the energy for me. No longer being agreeable or falling into people pleasing. Instead, double down on what is true for you. Then I like I may need reminder of that because I pretty much stay true to myself. Yesterday morning when I read the news, it talked about Belize National Teachers Union holding the Ministry of Education accountable. And they have a number of actions where they want to take for the entire week, and they ask Belizeans to participate. Now, in principle, I know solidarity with any Belizean because they're a human right for protest and hold the state accountable. In principle, I do. I need for reason, the teachers, they need to come reason with me. Because by and large, and this is my position, I'm not happy with teachers. I'm not happy with teachers because the majority of Belizean students, the majority, in the public school system, in the government school, are illiterate. Majority. And this happened for a period of time. So the teachers and they advocate for more money, and this for we tax-paying money for payday. But real talk, we need to give value for money. And I don't see no evaluation. For me, the measurement, the how we children in the do. And most of them in the fullness of what literacy mean, and we had one person was training in literacy on maybe 2 weeks ago. It's not only about being able to read, reading fluency, reading accuracy, reading comprehension. Literacy also have to do with your ability for talk, even if it's talk in a Creole, but that you could express yourself, that you're a very good listener, and that the ability for have confidence as you communicate, no matter who you communicate with, what position the person or people may have, what are their last name. And that is not true for most Belizean students for years, primarily because the school system never set up for that. The school system, which and other encourage Belizeans, forget one copy Alexei, if you could show them the picture of the book. It's called Years of Grace, The History of Roman Catholic Evangelization in Belize by Charles M. Wood Sr., J. Alexander Bennett, and Sylvana Woods. And now remember this from a Catholic perspective. It still offers some insight into the education system that Belize. And that is the back cover. Now, yesterday, when I made a read, we went to call in the number at 280-5848. And calling to know more than likely I want to talk about African descendants, specializes Black people, that Belize, and history. So yesterday I'm going to tell you now, I'm going to read for you or share with you now from the Discover Old Belize Dung Sites and Places of Memory, the Honduras Free School, which the first school that I know of, which was 218 years ago, where they had 10 school children, but they're never sure what part, the physical location, what part I'm going to get the instruction. And then after that school, and that school never have no name. After that school, and that was in June 1807. Then after that school, they had the Honduras Free School, which was established on February 19, 1816, which will be 209 years ago. And then out of the book where I'm telling about Years of Grace, I have this book for years and I really don't read the book from front to back. But there were some things in there and I say, for we look upon the education system, we the people, what to pay for the teacher's salary. The way it worked, to my understanding, and if I'm wrong, anybody could correct me, the Ministry of Education pay for the salary. I have to go look for it. I do believe I'm going to read some time ago that it was said under the UB administration, I think they're going to borrow $1 million. Was it a week, a day for pay salaries, overall salaries? That's a lot of money for paying our salaries. So that we need to understand the education system thoroughly. I think that, if I'm not mistaken, I think that the department, the ministry, will get the largest portion of we national budget, the Ministry of Education. But it appears that most of that they go in as salaries. And we need to get value for our money. Now, we don't really come out and criticize the work of teachers. Now, teachers no different from any other government worker. Therefore, we money to pay on. So we need to evaluate if we get value for money for only go back for the ask for increase, 1. 2, only independently, because I know say nothing was otherwise, decide for us the state to increase the minimum wage from $5 to $6. I don't know how to come up with that. I don't know about no survey we're going out to get the input of Belizeans. And so I said teachers need to talk to we, the public. Like, I would recommend having community sessions to hear how we feel about the service we're going to provide. One number of the teachers, and I just said this within the context that the teachers then ask the community, the wider Belizean community, for support them in holding the state accountable. And if the state never adhered to agreements that were made with the teachers and respect to that, I still say at the same time that we need to get value for money from teachers. I just say based on majority of our students not literate in the fullness of what literacy mean, from kindergarten to tertiary level, 1. 2, you don't hear BNTU say nothing, at least to my knowledge, about the consistent discrimination of Belizean children when it comes to going to school with their natural hair, African descendants racialized as black children, students, going to school with locks, braids, bantu knots, cornrows. You don't hear nothing come out of BNTU. You don't hear nothing come out of BNTU as it relates to children being denied access to education because they know they follow European colonial school rules when it comes to your hair. Now, I know YaYa said that the Constitution said that. So the Ministry of Education complicit in their 2 violations of Belizean students. I don't hear nothing from the Belize National Teachers Union. You tend to hear from them when it comes to, especially for their money, and that I want to lash backward and get that, always for their money. So now, this time around, we can't say we just look out for our money as teachers. We look out for to which you want to leave extra dollar in there for minimum wages. That's how I read it. The 1 or 2 people who I talk without a road, that what they say. One number of parents never happy this past week when we feel that now an emergency, so we never adhere to the school rules to give the amount of notice so that, you know how much days at school for we children miss. As it is, my 2 cents is not getting adequate instructions and why so children are illiterate. And then 2, how much missed days. They miss day for raise money for school. And remember, the church first duty, and the majority of them are Christian churches, the conversion for their faith. That are their first responsibility. Now education, the first one, that for conversion to their faith. My position is that we should move away from a church-state school, and the government have a responsibility, because they also don't want constitutional violation, you know. People have one right to choose what faith they want to follow, or if they even want to follow one, that's their human right. So for you have to choose, if I want go to one school that believes, and these are working class people, indigent people, majority of the population that believes, sending their children to school. Your option want faith, primarily want Christian faith. Just like how the Belize Central Prison, when they're prisoners, they have Christian messages blasting through the that want human rights violation. Me, I'm not the first person to say it. But it's wrong. And the state have one duty for make sure that Belizeans they operate in a fair space. That is duty of the government of Belize. And so I gone and I said, I have consistently asked, what are the measuring stick for the Ministry of Education of what literacy is? What are the definition what the Ministry of Education use? And you can't get no Minister of Education for the most part, Chief Education Officer, Chief Executive Officers of Ministry of Education for respond. I know they must hear the talk shows. I said, make a call and have one reasoning. Carla, thanks for calling so early. Talk to her. Carla, go ahead.
Good morning, YaYa.
Good morning.
I just want to say I am so proud of you. Thank you so much for calling out the teachers. I have the same sentiments like you. I do not believe that we are getting value for money. The BNTU speak on what they want to speak on, and I've never ever heard anybody on the media call out BNTU on these matters when they strike. I am so proud of you. Thank you for bringing up the matter. Have a good day.
Morning, sis. Thank you too. And I find that to be one valid critique. We in the media act like BNTU that the Holy Grail, and this media house is in solidarity with unions. Track record of it. Morning, talk to it.
Yeah.
Yes, brother.
Good morning, my dear.
Morning, brother. How the morning? We were going to say about a blackout last night.
It's wonderful.
How blackout was wonderful? Your fan stopped blowing. You be okay that?
Well, no. I really don't want to keep the politics turning like this, Sarah.
You see, there's no politics. Life is about politics.
I want to tell you something, right? You know what I believe that every time you build something, I mean the greatest thing to fight for it. And then after that, you get stuck with whatever white elephant they got a put over here. So, that's a rough one to do that right there, and it be quite warm.
It may quite warm, and that because BL asked for $506.6 million in a tariff increase to Public Utility Commission.
Well, it's being quite for 507 if you want. I don't think that we shouldn't get back out like that. I mean, yeah, we got 2025, yeah. We don't have 1995 or 1975. We are at 2025. And if you can't up your game, or then step down, and give somebody else a chance. But YaYa, my purpose for calling this morning wasn't to talk about the year. But it was to talk about what happened in a Vernon Tawano, who said, Belize does not have no talent. And I must big up my friend, Mr. Lopez, for a splendid article, a most prestigious award, and the fact that he realized that instead of the government acknowledging his penmanship and his and what was according to the craft, his respect for the craft, they decided to belittle to Ecuador.
Why you say that?
I mean, I believe it's of no consequences. And the new economy minister said that report is wrong. You see? Well, because if I said that the boy is right, then I am wrong, and I am economist, and I don't want to be wrong. I rather need to be wrong. You get that, okay? So I turned him into a punchline. But you have no standing. You see, I mock him, I make a joke out of him. And then he's of no subsequence to me. You see? But to Mr. Lopez, I always do your anything you, brother. A young boy from Penn Road, and I think if he had written music, I think his mind would have been deeper than that. But it is the beginning, and I wish him great luck in his future endeavors. I guarantee you that if he continues, they say the pen is right there on the sword. He can be a Goliath with that pen in his hand. So, this is me saying to the government of the government that they have to go out, my brother. One of the message Goliath, we're going to bring everything. Because that's why they're going to play. They say, no, YaYa. I don't get in anything, but since I can talk for the government, my friend, I can't talk with it, you know. Oh, YaYa, I'm a lover of Dutch cheese. Don't mess with the Dutch. Don't touch the Dutch.
Make I ask you this. Make I ask you this since you don't love our Dutch cheese. So I think you know about Dutch cheese, right?
But listen to me, YaYa. That's the fanciest cheese in the world. But last right there, you better make sure when I go get my finances, when I go buy finances, I take my cheese. I can't accept it about a region. For example, me, civilized people know.
You need to stop it now. Stop it now.
But too cheap for the great heart. No one cut it. You need it. Fast for the great heart.
And you want to put Dutch cheese?
The first thing they are telling the price that cheese down.
Right.
We don't care Colonel, and we don't care in the region. We want we think fluffy, look like it's snow. Pile up there.
How much Dutch cheese they go for right now?
I want to give you the story here. So I'm coming home from work, and my daughter loves Dutch cheese just like Italy. So I decided to buy one and be a quarter and a half. You see the see half. And then I take my 3/4. Wait. Well, I can buy work for $50. Guys, do I pay $32, $33? That's the best shop in the list, you. The cheapest place when it comes to Dutch cheese. And to a lot of things we've been done, nobody realized. Save you on the bath. And when I said my work on eBay, I was my work on go back on time. And I asked the man, I said, why you not to feel something about telling me what you? 15 cents each. No. Don't touch around, YaYa. Do not touch around. I raised that kind of spirit. I don't feel, YaYa. YaYa, so what I want, I'm rich, YaYa. YaYa, this like the last of the book, he got any water pan. We have to still say, man, I can't drink a beer and say, and I put me. So expensive. I can't eat one piece of fish and say, and I put me. It's so expensive. When you when the last thing when I got some piece of Dutch cheese, make us feel like I some money. I always make winner. $49.95.
Did you buy the cheese?
Can you not buy the cheese? Because the stupid government, if you give it to $1,000, I don't still buy it.
That's why they could keep raising the price, guys. People like you keep buying it.
No, because it will not break me. It will not break me and allow the guy to eat price of cheese.
Make I ask you this. Since you don't connoisseur of Dutch cheese, you saw part of the red part of the Dutch cheese there? One time, that part was next to the red and the rest of the cheese have one darker color. It mean the Dutch cheese stale? You know where you know you have the rest of the cheese we eat with a lighter color. But I'd ask how you know when Dutch cheese fresh. That's the way I'd ask you. How you know?
When it's fresh, YaYa, he was got one light consistency color. When you see it get warm to one side, but because probably get freeze the bird. So what I do, I make sure when I put it in the fridge sandwich, and you got some people make it, you're gonna freeze the bird and change the color.
But I talk when I buy it from the shop. Then not everybody, but you see the thing is you buy the whole Dutch cheese. Then not everybody could buy the whole Dutch cheese like you. That's the thing. One time you go you buy only $3, $6 slice, and then you look upon it.
Yeah, I have found out that he believes, and I wish my grandmother would do these things because my grandmother says, okay, it's a millionaire, and she thinks that I have no, like my grandmother don't think I listen to one word she said.
How old your granny?
My granny 92, thank God, Jesus.
Wow, what you need?
And it's Grace, and that's a Grace Calibur.
Morning, Granny Grace.
And listen to me. When I go to see my grandmother, the first word that I mostly know, so I want something, because when I reach, I say, have I told you lately that I love you? Have I told you there's no one else but where am I? I want to tell you something, right? My grandmother always teaches me to shop around. My grandmother always gives me the best advice. But she thinks I don't take it, YaYa. My grandmother has taught me so much things that one of the things she has taught me, if she tells me do something I don't do it, I will normally go back with regret and say, I should have listened to my grandmother. Right? Because that's how good she is when. Now, I will tell you what happened last week. And I don't want to go to VL because I don't want to lose it in the VL, YaYa. I really don't. I love VL.
Tell her what happened.
But I don't buy a brand new washing machine. Okay, the same thing I have in my house 8 years ago, I still there today. But my light bill went up by $68. So, but explain to me, okay, I went and I got the LED light we recommended. I tried to have nothing because my grandmother says that these little red lights and these little green lights like on the microwave burn color. They can't tell her no. She believes that, and that's that. So I try to eliminate everything. Actually, I sleep in the dark. The only light through the arm are the camera lights, right? So that the camera can pick up everything in the dark. And my grandmother real up with me every month when the light bill comes. And she says, the light bill will go up. And the little children, you have to run up because I don't want to argue, I don't want to tell my grandmother, but also I don't want to go to be here because I will lose it every year. I haven't bought or got nothing extra in the house what could justify the bill going up, YaYa. You understand me? So why is it that my light bill keeps going up? Now, I know why my light bill keeps going up here.
Why?
Because I have a very fancy name, Coleman. They think I'm bloody rich. See, they think I'm a conglomerate. I like Warren Buffett. Because I'm fancy name, and that's blow me out. What say, look here, what? But I will tell you something, YaYa. I got news here. I got news today. It's called Solar Generating Power. Eventually I will buy it. I will walk in there one year, cultural site, and send friends, everybody and tell them, follow me to meet here.
Wait. You know what the last about that? You think you could just put up solar like that?
You know what I tell you what the law will do? The law will kiss my cold dead body. That's the word.
Listen to me. I support your position, I'm going to share at the end. I'm in 6 weeks, 6 weeks this week. And one of the things I found out after having one complaint the BWS and I got in a Public Utilities Commission with the regulator, they only regulate. They only regulate.
Don't mention that company there because I'm telling you that's the problem. That PUC there is the reason why we got a problem. I would like to walk up to PUC building and tell everybody from the first floor, details last floor, and reach up there and tell them, jump through the window. Because I said jump through the window.
Listen to me. PUC only could do what the law said PUC could do. So PUC did follow what the law say. But in a Belize law,
PUC is following a book that ends with carrying the book in. PUC has no vision.
But brother, I agree with you.
Listen to how stupid the PUC. I have a light, but the light is 400 feet away from the street. Listen to this. The post will have the power and the meter is 400 feet away from the street. So just think about it. We are the 400 feet away. The POC says that, Mr. Coleman, you need a safety switch at the street side. So I explained to them, I said, listen, but why at the street side? Because I would never be working at the street side. I should think that the safety switch should be all the way back here, that if there is a problem, I just click and the switch come out. No, sir, has to be at the street. I asked the POC. I said, Mr. PUC, I will go to Jamaica and I will hire the fastest man on earth. PUC is good. And I haven't worked with complaint, but we need to do some sprint and so that one day if we get shot, where I see the go on leashes and he could save me. And you know they are in that film saying, well, shall we listen to a concert? But the book says, the thing have to go up on the street. And that's when chapter ends, and after it, you have no other appeal to you. And then, you tell me I have to put a safety switch. But nobody has the safety switch. They don't have the 200 app. They only have the 150 app. But you tell me I have to go to 200. Then you say, okay, put the 150. YaYa, PUC is like the court of belief, the judiciary. There is a lot of night. And I would like to ride on them up and individually get at home. And you see these scrap contests, put one good handful of products and whack into a leg and then go back my hand and stop the back leg. Yeah, because you are saying, the only time these things work is when it's going to affect Mr. Coleman. Because if I go to court, the court works because it's to affect me. But in the general public, it's a joke. Nobody takes it serious. See?
Brother, listen to me. Listen to me, brother. And I agree with your concern. What PUC told me a couple weeks ago is they go by what the law say. And the law only allowed PUC to regulate money. So for the three utilities, telecommunication, electricity, water, and sewage, there's no outlet for customers carry one legitimate complaint to be heard, investigated, have one fair response. There's nowhere in the law, brother, for all the time when we have utilities. There's no protection for consumers.
No, so, because then the PUC is the ultimate full stop in here.
But the law not give them a permission. The law not give PUC the right for do that, brother. The PUC only could do what the law give. So we have to advocate for the law change for make we could have some protection as it relates to the utilities.
Well, you know what, my government wake up and decided that we're going to have some new policies on the highway, which I think are some good policies. One of them is you have to have a seatbelt. My government never researched no way that we have a seatbelt mechanic in the league, somebody who can fix a seatbelt. He just get up and say, we're going to pass the law. Well, with the seatbelt law, I didn't read the whole thing. I heard the law. I decided, well, you know, let me try following the law. I don't want to give Johnny a little more. Well, I was surprised last couple of weeks ago while driving in my vehicle on my road when I stopped at the checkpoint. No, when I stopped at the checkpoint, I was in an international car. And apparently the police got really angry. So I decided to lower the glass at the bike. Out of the 5 people were there. You are the only black one, and you are the only one when you act like this. Wake up, please. When you go on with this black on black crime, everybody tells me that if I don't know that I can get charged because I went for extra out and come home, he said, if I never got it, I would say, right there, I said, well then, but I better you charge me before try to insult me, before I hurt you. Because I want to tell you something. When I went to $10 I purchased my phone with my body, it never tells me there is a time you cannot use the phone. Except when I'm going to quote, I have to roll the volume. But the phone can be hard. And you cannot tell me when to use my cell phone. Johnny Briseño cannot tell me when to use my cell phone. Except the judiciary could tell me when you're done at court, you can't make your ring card to take it to a which I understand totally well. But while I'm driving, YaYa, but listen to me how I feel like the capital of the world is against me. And I can go to court and probably argue the hell out and it's a windy. If I was driving, I got to the checkpoint, the phone rang, and I pick up my phone and start off on my phone. I feel like that is disrespect. Because I told the police to send me to the officer. First of all, if my child is on this line, the school is on this line, my grandmother is on this line, it's more important than you. They will all come before you, and I will not turn off my phone because you're a policeman. But where when I purchased this phone, that was in the purchase rules, so that I could know this. You can't tell me when to use my phone and how to use my phone. The last time I checked, I went with legal tender, purchased my phone. You cannot never tell me when, oh, you know what, when I done a checkpoint, I never. But this was an international car. I was purchasing something, and so you want to make I tell you, sir, I'm passing through a checkpoint. I need to turn off my phone. But I don't know. I think that when we do knee-jerk things, YaYa, we have to stop and say, okay, we are past the seatbelt law. Does anybody fix seatbelt in the room? Because a lot of vehicle seatbelt doesn't work, YaYa. My vehicle in the country, I think, well, the last vehicle I had never had those seatbelts. They don't come out. Or they come out and they don't go back in. I don't know how to fix seatbelt. I don't know a seatbelt mechanic. So when the police go and say, sir, boss, I don't know, where do I go? Do I go to the police station and they have a mechanic there? You need to research these things before pass to Allah.
Make I ask you two things, Collymore. Your seatbelt the work?
What?
Your seatbelt the work right now in your vehicle?
No, my brakes is working, my insurance is good.
Okay, so your seatbelt not work?
It has, let me put it like, it's like the government, it has a scale. It has a scale when it comes out, and it goes back in. And then it has a scale where, no matter how you put it, it doesn't move. And then it has scale where it falls right out by itself, and you can't get it back in.
Where you have vehicle you got?
I got a 2004 Toyota Tundra. My brake is working perfectly.
Okay, so
And
you have to get the seat. I don't know who that is seat belt. If anybody know a seat belt mechanic, please call Brother Collymore and make him know a seat belt mechanic.
You know, I wanted to ask this question too. You know, I am in the need and the lookout for a personal, this would be a masseuse. This would be a personal scratcher. You see, like when you got that people properly, they squeeze the bump here. I don't want to squeeze bump. I want somebody to scratch me. Like, literally I could go and spend half an hour and they use a wire.
But Brother Collymore, that's why you have a wife.
What?
You know your wife for do for you?
We thought we need to wear one because I spent the way. When my wife started scratching me on the end, and I'm going to be back to scratch to me, and the guys will leave banners and leave it. You cannot believe the style was perfect, and I'm cut. When it's free time, when you have to go, I'm going to scratch me.
Make I ask you this other question, Collymore, before you go. Make I ask you this question. I hear you, Collymore. I hear you.
We don't have to talk, we don't have to have some nice fingernails or some stuff that we could really need a piece of wood. Any creative thing where you got to scratch me, I will pay by the hour.
Make I ask you this.
At least $45 an hour.
Make I ask you this, Collymore. What their phone number so if anybody want to scratch your back for $25 an hour? What their number, Collymore?
673-9335 right there.
Collymore look for a scratcher.
I scratch literally I can keep so I had the worst birthday of my life, YaYa. I took a pill and I scratched for 6 days. Spent like 5 million when I had to my day. All day, every day, non-stop, each one of them were attention ASAP. So I very thin there. If you notice, it no matter how hot the sun is, whenever you see me with a long skin. It's because my skin is delicate. And the animal what affects me the most is the sun dry. The smallest, you don't see it, when you can't see, cause me the greatest risk. Because as he touch me, he must up the skin.
Oh my.
So I have to get all around t-shirt. Even if it's 104 degrees, I gotta, because then you gotta put it on. Everybody has to say, why your skin look so? Why I have to try and explain it, and I try to explain it.
Make I ask you one more question before you go, because I forgot to break in about 3 minutes. Were you on a handheld device, or when you made up on the phone, you had the phone in your hand, or when you get at the checkpoint?
The phone was on speaker, stuck in the coffee cup water.
Okay, so I don't know, so I don't understand why the police officer did bother you.
Well, because I want to tell you something when you have people in power. And please don't get this the wrong way. Do not find the ugliest, blackest person and put him in that position of power. He will abuse the hell out of it.
Brother Collymore, stop the call, the creator picnic ugly.
Especially when I had somebody here, and he said, that's why right now have a guy who they gave a gun to. And you know what I told the guy? I said, please don't take this the wrong way, but they have a rule that they say we don't give Indians alcohol because they can't handle it. They have a rule about pouring black people to trouble. It goes straight through the head. You ever watch the movie Friday?
I don't watch it long time.
You see DNA? How when we got power, how you know it? That's how black people go out when they got
I don't know if the only black people abuse power. People in general tend to abuse power.
They deal more to the old black people then. Yeah, don't get me wrong. There were some black people who like black people and like them really hard on them. Don't get me wrong. All right, anyway, I'll leave it with that this morning.
Thanks for the call. I'll put out an ad for a scratcher.
I wish more to be there because kudos to the Canopus.
Big respect to Marco Lopez on winning the Investigative Journalist Award from the University of Belize. Big respect. I try to get him, I don't know if he can come tomorrow. I'm going to try to get him yesterday, today, tomorrow, but you know that kind of tricky. But Marco Lopez has earned it under great difficulties. Working class, family from Southside Belize City. Big respect to Marco Lopez. Thanks, brother, for calling big, as I'm black band, for calling and big up on black youth. Big respect to that, Collymore. Break time. Oh, yes. 2 cents comes is brought to us by 4 Point Security. I know Evelyn, because Harlan and Brick City, they get new 2 cents come. I think Harlan do like 3 yesterday, so I'm going to see what 2 cents come to say this morning.
You're watching WUB, and this is XTV. And big respect to 4 Point Security, our sponsors. In less than 24 hours, 2 murders happened inside the capital. Let's go find out the people in 2 cents and see how they feel about this and hear their 2 cents.
It should be, I don't know, the policing, I don't think they're doing their job when they're supposed to, you know what I mean? But this is sad. To hear, you know, how much, you know, people just are dead and, you know, small time, period of time. Yes, sir, yes, sir.
How are you, bro?
They man, they say they help the Liban, but then they lock up the Liban and then frustrate the Liban more than anything, brother. I don't mind lose my freedom if I do something wrong. But if I do nothing wrong, you the cars beef make I go do something wrong. I do that 25 years. After I do 10, I'm not going back yet.
10 years of prison.
Single father too.
That year too, sir.
No gone back yet. I try to raise my 14-year-old right now. He ain't go no way. Friend, lead you astray.
I got a lot of anger. Nobody get up one day and want to take out somebody's life. I think that you got to get to the root cause of it.
So you just say you have to have a reason behind it.
Oh yes. Nobody's gonna get up and say, "Man, I want to go take somebody out." Some kind of reaction, and so maybe I have to. What do you say?
Well, you know, they will say it's gang related, but they may have a program for that.
Oh yes, they did, but it go deep. You know, so they said that 2 days fix, the night 3 days fix. Then programs they take time.
Yeah.
It's not overnight, and you have to take it serious too. It's not overnight, but it's deep issues. And
your 2 cents.
Yep, deep issues. Okay.
Is a youth in the street? What are your 2 cents on that? What do you think about that?
Well, I don't know to be honest. You know, I don't know. You not stop now, cause you see what believe.
Yeah.
People are killer for you. Simplest thing, understand? So I just say, just try to stop it. Like we all know you not stop. Everybody know that, but just try to stop it and thing and
Yeah.
Calm down, just stop cause the main thing I believe is that the gang.
Yeah.
That because that no good, understand? Just try. Let's stop the violence.
That's your 2 cents.
Yes, sir.
All right.
welcome back to Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. Give thanks to Brother Coleman. He want to liven up the place. Coleman a problem. He's a good troublemaker though. But I need some clarity. Somebody could call in at 280-5848 and make we understand what that is law when it comes to the paying phone. You're not supposed to talk on the phone none at all when you drive? Or you just can't have it in your hand? I need clarity upon that. Say somebody could call and make I know what the law said. I'd appreciate it. Before calling more call, I'm going to talk about Belize National Teachers Union and the teachers where my position is we need to give value for money. That's my position. So I'm going to do some research to find out more about the education system that Belize. And I've been asking for years, what is the definition of literacy? To my knowledge, and again if I'm wrong, I'm going to call and correct me. They used to have one literacy unit because I got in more than one time that old teachers college compound. My understanding is they don't have the literacy unit no more. So is it that they relocate the literacy unit or they don't have it no more? There is no evaluation of teachers to ensure that they do what they're supposed to do. The report I get is that especially since they don't have standardized exam no more, like PSC, at least with the PSC, because they want the school look good, they want the school get good grades, they must have extra classes. But now with no PSC, that the report what I get, they don't have that. There's nobody who will evaluate the teachers then consistently for say, listen, they're the literacy skills what children need for developing a kindergarten, in an infant 1, what they need for master in an infant 2, in a standard 1. And that's supposed to happen weekly so that you can make the adjustment in the areas where the child weak when it comes to literacy competency. And then, even though there's now a policy of the Ministry of Education, it's a practice for keep the send children from class to class, knowing that children don't have the academic skills, such as literacy, what they need to succeed as human beings. So, and again, if the Belize National Teachers Union, they have community meetings to engage Belizeans and be open to constructive critique like I give now, I don't hear about it. I've never heard about it. And we have to hold the BNTU accountable. And one of the reasons, and this is just YaYa position, why I don't have the traditional guests when I host WUB and on Sunday Review, because I tired of say the same people, they say the same thing. Or on different face, they say the same thing. And we not to say no meaningful results in whatever they talk about across the sectors in Belize. That's me. So I really not got time for you to go from media house to say this at me personally, not to create no space for that. Now, if Mo say I didn't have to come, then Mo's manage XTV, then you have to come. But me personally, not got time for it. This is our reset. We, the parents, adults, guardians, were responsible for Belizean students failing. They failing for the most part, government schools. Belize National Teachers Union, they failing. Management of schools, they failing. Ministry of Education, they failing. And there's the evidence to show that. I don't say that so. And so, where they going here? These are just business as usual. Who the benefit from Belizean students not being truly educated? Who the benefit? It's because we the lose. People work off 4% in children in private school, and that includes some of the public school teachers. You have the same like small group of clique, you know, working class people, they get for be more than they be attorneys now. They get into politics. The socio-economic condition, they change. But I just want a small clique, they're not the majority of the Belizean people. Who are the people who keep the voting? The same set of people with the same mindset, but genuinely not care about we. So I'm going to look, so I kept the ask, what are the definition of literacy for the Ministry of Education, and what evidence do you have that only they monitor and evaluate literacy over a period of time now? Like I said earlier, I shared yesterday about the Honduran free school from 209 years ago in 1816. And they note that this book, Years of Grace, it also make mention, it says, this is on page 137, chapter 11, which is entitled The Role of Roman Catholic Schools. I never take this picture here, but it have from the census of 1823, and I should have take this picture so that I could show you, so you could say, I don't want it. People, everybody learn differently, right? But I don't want them people where I like say, the textile and call people like me, I like say and touch. I learn better that way. Some people could just listen and the audio learners, some I think what they call visual learners. And so everybody different. I send this picture to my people in the XTV studio, right next door in the next room to me. So the picture where I just sent for the show, that from the census of 1823, I'm going to show the population in 1823. Now this is before enslaved African people get legal emancipation, freedom from being chattel, property. We were never propertied. We were always human beings, even though the enslaver, primarily Europeans, with the support of some mixed race people, and know that the enslavement of African people, that one interruption of we glorious history going back at least 6,000 years ago. But from this 1823 census, it said it had 136 white men, 51 white women, 30 children, white, 217. Colored, where that be one mixture of African and indigenous, African and European. It had colored 2 men, 243 women. Then can I say the bottom of the screen, and 374 children. Carried up and leave it higher, Alexa, please. So that put 809. And then blacks, you had 217 men, 222 women, 174, big thanks Alexa, children, total of 613 blacks. This is from the census of 1823. And then for enslaved people, you had 1,440 men, 628 women, and 400 children. Now this is in 1823, which would be 15 years before enslaved African people, descendants, get legal liberation from chattel enslavement. So I know I'm telling you before about this singular colonial narrative about Creole people and a mixture of European and African. And I said the numbers not show that. You never have enough European people for have sex or rape African people for make that be the only mixture. And then I'm giving you like 20 spaces where 20 sites, I identified 20 sources where I get information about African people came from to this country or African descendants, mixed race people. So this is from 1823. Now with a look from 1850, so in the primary schools in Belize in the 1850, that laws get enacted for regulate the procedure of schools established under the church-state system. It said the purpose of the 1850 Act, quote, and this is from page 137 of Years of Grace, the History of Roman Catholic Evangelization in Belize. Quote, to provide for additional schools for the benefit of every denomination of Christians in the settlement of British Honduras, and to make certain regulations for the government of such schools and the Honduras government school. I just to try to give one Lee background, how we end up, for figure out, for analyze one challenge critically. The recommendation I would make is always go at the root, because you have to pull it up from the root, check your soil, replant. It won't mean that we have some hardships because we dig it up from the root, but for really the meaningful change, we want beneficial to the people of Belize, that I would recommend. So in 1850, that we had policy, law, regulation, that Belize. So if I subtract 1850, so they talk 175 years ago. It said by the end of the 19th century, so by the end of 1899, The church-state system of education was well established, and they had numerous administrative ventures. Anyways, I don't want, okay. So some of the things what they had centralization of primary school administration, and then pay you based on results. They had one annual grant in respect of each student who obtained one pass in any of the standardized Schedule A of the education rules exam at schools. And then a pass in the first standard brought payment of $15 per pupil per year, going up to $100 in the sixth standard. To receive payment, the school's average daily attendance needed to be no less than 20. Now this is in the 1800s. So you get paid based on result. And that children in the classroom forget the lesson. Now, this is 175 years ago, Belizean people. Then they continue. One of the things that may have interest to me, and you know how we think that, oh, that thing happened long time. Again, that because we don't know the story in the fullness. But when in my bedroom, I have one huge wall map of the country of Belize. Because when I read books like this, I go into the map for go see the place where part and say this thing happened, and it really make the story of our people come alive. And I tell you, my interest primarily the African people, African descendants specialized as black people. All other Belizeans benefit from the knowledge, but at least I declare, I'm not going to know. If you don't want to call it unbiased, fine, but at least I'm not going to know that I want to deal with. I'm not finding for being unbiased because Chinese people look after Chinese people interests, Italian people look after Italian people interests, business people look after business people interests, church people look after church people interests, so I'm not finding for being unbiased. Then in 1874, they said that a constant challenge for have trained teachers. In 1874, one man named Father Peter visited one Catholic school that's Stan Creek. You hear that, Raspita? Your name in the boat. And recorded that the school may open the previous month and they pay house rent of $6 per month. Now, this is a report from a Catholic priest when he Peter, P-I-T-T-A-R. So that would be, make I say how much years ago? 151 years ago. This story where they're giving it right now. And it said that how, for one teacher, quote, he obtained the services of a good convert girl from Belize Town who undertook to teach the school for $2 a month. So this is 151 years ago. In the primary school, one Catholic primary school at Stan Creek, they made pay the person $2 a month. And this is how come you evaluate. And remember now, at this time, you have to show that the students, the master way to teach them, because that's how you determine the payment where you're going to get. It goes on to say that one typical scenario for the private school around that time illustrate how education and school in general was in the early days. So I just want to read this directly, and this one priest, Hopkins, that what they named the Garifuna community down south. The Garifuna word for it is Ugadan, because they said that two sisters from the country of Uganda start the community, but you know, colonization, European Catholic priest named Hopkins then become one bishop. That's what they named the community, Hopkins. This is what he say. There have been a number of private schools with varying fortunes. Thus, a school recently started at Arenal, endured for 2 years and then closed for lack of cooperative support from the people. A school at Bullet Tree Falls lasted for only 1 year for the same reason. The private schools depend substantially upon the contributions of the parents concerned, but generally, the burden falls upon one or two especially interested persons capable of extended aid. How long private school did I believe? Okay, make a hurry up because I got so much thing to talk about this morning. I want to give you what some teachers may make. Information is also provided that at a private-run school in Carmelita Village, the church paid the teacher $5 and one, Don Paula, paid her $10. Presumably, then $15 for the month. Now, this is a private school. Then they get paid $15 a month. So it's a right up in my book. Then so when I want to find it again, I could. The baking pot village teacher at the small school there received $16 from Wahib Habet. Is my name sound familiar? So Habet paid the $16 a month for the baking pot village teacher. The Orange Walk teacher received $10 from Henry Melhado, $5 from David Smith, and $5 from the church. So, and then I want to hurry up and move forward because the thing is juicy, you know. They also have on page 142 statistics in the 1890s. And I just want to show, you know, the school population. This is the mid-1890s. They have the district, so they have the district, Belize, Corozal, Orange Walk, Stand Creek, Toledo, Cayo, in the first column. In the second column, they have the total population of that district. In the third column, they have the Catholic population. In the fourth column, you have church seats. And in the fifth column, you have school population. So, we know our Belize City bias, right? So, we could look upon Belize City. In Belize, the total population in the mid-1890s, so let's say 1895, that means 7,000 people. They had a Catholic population of 1,200. Also in the Belize district, they had San Pedro, total population 469. Catholic population, everybody at San Pedro is Catholic, say 469. Kikaka, they only have one Catholic population of 230. Now, Belize had a population of 7,000. Corozal had a population of 6,000. They never have none for Orange Walk. Dangriga had a population of 3,965. Toledo, 3,700. They don't have none for Cayo. Now, this is about 1895. So, I keep telling you, I have to go to a break in like 3 minutes. And I tell you, say, math is not my strong subject. So, it's about 130 years ago. That may give you the population of the districts. Make I quickly get to this part. The next page, page 144. Finally, for the first time that I know of, I did see some statistics on literacy. So what would it do? Would it look back, Sankofa, for then move forward? So we could learn from the past for improve the situation as it relates to the education, or my position and other people will have on level of awareness, the miseducation of we people. It's I just want to read it straightforward. 75 years after the first 1816 Honduras Free School, which was in 1891, and about 40 years after the first Catholic school in the 1850s, the 1890, you could show that image to me, please, Alexei. The 1891 census, as extracted and reported in the Angelus, showed the state of literacy to be, quote, 33.67% can read, while 28.63% can write their name. Now, I tell you now, I always hear then determine literacy at some period in the past based on if you could write your name. This is the first time I actually see something in a writing where we give the oral story credibility. But I never hear the part yet about can read, so that's the addition. It go on to say, interestingly, 10 years later, quote, Education Statistics 1901, end quote, noted a reduction in number of Catholic schools to 13, with the number of children on the Catholic schools roll as 1,345. Anglican schools had been reduced by 1. Baptists had lost 2 schools, and Mrs. Cater's private school continued. So that will give us some knowledge on the history of education in the country, I believe. I recommend to buy the book. But we have to do this so that we could understand how we end up right now. Where for we children, over and over again, they get pushed out of school oftentimes because of impoverishment, not having adequate support in the homes where they come from, meaning adequate as beyond material support, mental support, emotional support. And so this is one collective issue. This is one community issue, and I recommend them for read like Bushfire. I know how I never bring it this morning. I'll bring it tomorrow though. And Dr. Herbert Gale, Dr. Virginia Hampton, and Dr. Nelma Mortis Morrison or Morrison Mortis. There are people who work on the book. And now remember now, people could always find statistics to support whatever position they want to move forward. So I don't tell them to accept everything what I tell them, just, but at least that was starting point. And I don't know if the Belize National Teachers Union have them kind of reasoning. I don't know if the Ministry of Education have them kind of reasoning. But me personally, when me listen to enough on, I'm like, fool to talk than a fool to listen. It's break time.
Prepare for the heat and stay cool.
back to Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. The number is 280-5848, and I could call and talk about anything. So I don't get me being to you concerned off of my chest. Now, everybody know that Belizeans have been complaining for quite some time about public transportation in Belize, legitimately so. And let it be known that Belizean people not always depend on best behavior, including me, when you're out a road and you're angry and feel helpless for anything but the terrible bus service, where they get. For last year, April, I did a thorough investigation as it relates to Central Transit bus. I lived at Ladyville area since 2017. I complained when I'm Serranos. Just terrible, terrible. Anyways, new administration come in. New Minister of Transport, new CEO of Transport. And I last week, recently, I sent a text to the Minister of Transport and I get a response back right away. Then put me in contact with management at Belmopan, and that was different. I know I sent enough text, video, messages to the former Minister of Transport, and I would say piss poor response. Piss poor. So I surprised when I get back one text right away from this new Minister of Transport, and then I get one text from management at Belmopan and adequate response. I'm like, that's different. Then did contact me for invite me last week, but then give me short notice. Then call like Wednesday and a Friday I made a meeting at Belmopan where this new administration meet with bus operators and then decide that they want to come up with one bus company. But from now until the end of the year, they have to figure out how they want to do the transition, and that for have one road permit, let's say you have 15 requirements, that by the time you get like that 6, most people don't fulfill the requirements. But then still recognize that bus operators have one duty to have adequate running buses, that they run on schedule, blah, blah, blah. All right. I usually try to get the first bus out of Ladyville, which could come like, I think it's scheduled for getting like 5:10, I think. I don't know. So I usually would ask the taxi to come get me by 20 to 5, quarter to 5. So usually, one of my security guards says stop on Belmopan, would I get there before me sometime. But I usually the first one out there, and I the first one out there and stand fly to tear me up most days. Because when the bus comes, I want to be the first one on it because I make sure I get out there the whole my brain work. Get out there this morning, we wait, and we wait. And we wait. Day broke, though this different. I don't used to out there and day broke. 5:32. No Central Transit bus. Well, now since I know, say, Minister of Transport respond right away. Belmopan Management Transport respond right away. Oh, I know that before Easter, I asked them what the Central Transit bus schedule because they don't post it. But that's one requirement of the road service permit that bus operators for posting bus schedule regularly, and when they have one different bus schedule on public and bank holidays in our space where accessible and public. So that's why I first contact this new minister. So when I say 5:32 and no bus come, well, with the quickness I send out, I know 5:32 business hours not start till 8, but I send off one text to the Minister of Transport, to the contact where I had from the Ministry of Transport at Belmopan, and well, now they got a new CEO of Transport, and I had the number cards I'm the former Commissioner of Police. Send all of them, the text. And then, so the Central Transit bus never come. One Armstrong bus come. Armstrong bus full. So you have to have standees. Now I know you're not supposed to have standees, but everybody try to get at work, they try to get to do whatever their commitment is that is city. So even though I know I'm not supposed to be a standee, I don't want to be late for the WUB, so I stand up. And I ain't not going to wait at back of the bus, but I got back good ways. And no, all this time now, I'm not vexed, because I don't work for YaYa. For your inner peace, you don't make nothing external. I'm not vexed, like inside, because I could mask my vexedness. I could rage inside, and you could say, well, relaxed face, eyes glowing, unless my face betray me, which it could sometimes. But I really YaYa, breathe. YaYa, everything don't deserve a response. I talk to myself. But I no vex. I get on the bus, say morning, stand up. Then say go to back, I go on the back, leave it. Then say go to back some more. I have accepted at the big old age of 58, I'm 59 tomorrow. I don't want a human being whenever I make for suck down injustice. I'd just, even if I say, yeah, you know, I say nothing. Yeah, you know, I say nothing. My body done wired. Enough is enough now. So the female conductor, and I don't know where Armstrong bus come from. I say one number of the people on the bus would be of Mayan, Spaniard heritage, Spanish music when they play on the bus. And so I don't know where Armstrong bus come from. Maybe it come from North, maybe it come from Sand Hill, I don't know where it come from. The conductress, we just say look like somebody of Spaniard descent or Mayan Spaniard descent. So she said, calmly, please go to back some more. I said, I ain't not going to back no more. She watched me and I watch her dead in her face. I tell her, well, you know you're supposed to go stand these on the bus. Now, I might song like after service, kiss me. I might have sung ungrateful because I'm glad they stop for me, but they don't do me no favors. Then this is one capitalist system. Then they stop carrying and make money every time passengers get on the bus. So I gotta get on the bus. But not because I get on the bus now, you think you and just jam me up like sardine because we don't need to make as much money. No, enough. So I said, no, I'm not going to back of the bus no more. I said, as a matter of fact, I even have standees on this bus. Then just had a meeting last week with bus operators. She turned back and gone up front, like, I don't even think he's going to report me or something. I don't know. I'm like, whatever. So it made it come back for collect money from commuters. So when I tell her that, she like, with the body language, and she turned back and gone up front, I come back for a little while, and then somebody get up next to me, I sit down. When I get closer to the city, I think, she come and start to collect money from people. You know, he walk right past me. Like, walk right past me, like she not collect my fare. I say, yeah. Like, I really, when I tell Belizean people, I have changed. Like, YaYa that Belize, that really cool YaYa. Like, I really simmer down since 2006. Like, but in the United States, I'm like one bull in a China shop. Menelik could tell you, he's like, Mommy, please. Mommy, please. He me very embarrassed. Because anywhere where I go, and I feel, especially because we lived in the South a lot, that especially European people, they be racist and unjust towards me or any, especially person of color, I got something to say. I know that the financial aid office where I used to work at Florida A&M University, when people hear that I was locked down and the federal charges that I was locked down for, I know the first thing that people are saying, because I'm always the one who is fight for justice. And the first thing I say, I'm a U.S. citizen and I have my rights. You could take bad thing, make laugh later, right? So when I said to myself, YaYa, how do conductors to behave, the reflection of that conductors. How you respond, the reflection of you. So I look behind me and I say I stand up on leave well, and so when I pass back, I just take the $2.25 and put it out and I open the hand and take it. Can you look like you don't mean I take the money? And then, this is another thing too, especially with, it happened with Serranos and it happened with Central Transit. I am known because I talk in at the bus. I make nice, like, and I don't understand Belizean people. Like, drivers would be racing. The music would be blaring with vulgar, explicit lyrics. And I'm like, yeah, I don't say nothing. Yeah, I don't say nothing. I'm like, I know there are elders on the bus. I know they have adults on the bus. I know no uncomfortable. When they don't say nothing, then the race, anyone away could dead, get hurt. And when they don't say no, so I say, yeah, no say nothing. Belizean people have to find their voice. They have to talk for themselves, but sometimes I feel like I just want to bust out of my skin and I have to say, hell, we don't want to say nothing. We just want to sit down on this bus. And then so the conductors and the conductresses and the bus drivers, for the most part, coming from Ladyville know me. And so sometimes, I say the bus, And I start to run, and I know there be no wait, because I hold them accountable. Yesterday I'm there on good distance from the bus, so I say, and I feel good, you know, because I'm getting more fit as I continue to exercise. So when I have to run, that one demonstration of my fitness to myself. And you have to watch your foot care, Belize roads tend to be street uneven. I don't want to hurt myself. And so I have to pay attention to how I run. I have one bag with garlic weight on my back. And I want to blow. I have to watch traffic. The latter thing, forget to the bus if you're there on good ways from the bus. So I said, I didn't want to run because I'm there on good ways from the bus. And I was pleased that, Central Transit bus. The bus driver honked the bus and the conductor come out and wave like, you want to catch the bus? I'm like, that's different. I like that. So I start to run and I make it. I'm at a good lead distance and I'm going to blow hard. I'm like, all right. So I've had, and when I have good experience, I share the good, and not just from a person who worked in a customer service for years in the United States, well trained. I know the value of giving credit when there's good service, especially putting it in a writing so when that person wants to get the annual review, it ought to make a difference. Likewise, when I'm not satisfied, I want to make it known. So this morning at 5:32, I sent one text to the Minister of Transport, to the CEO of Transport, and to the contact person of the Minister of Transport. Imagine my absolute shock when after 8 this morning, all three of them respond back. All three of them respond back. And I tell them, this is different. It's refreshing. It feels good to be heard. And when I respond back in a meaningful time, when I say something not acceptable for me, I just have to wait and say, if I want experience, I want to put in a text. And so one of the recommendations I make is that there ought to be a WhatsApp number for the Ministry of Transport so that commuters, especially on weekends and holidays, have one space for express with satisfaction or with dissatisfaction. And I encourage Belizean people, just like how we could complain about, we're not happy with the transportation, the service that we get from public transportation, when we're pleased with it, tell the person out loud. So just like how we rail up loud and somehow we cuss them out, tell them out loud. I've seen, even with elders, some conductors, young conductors, being very tender, helping with luggage. It matters that you give people credit where credit is due. Morning, talk to it. Morning.
Hey, greetings.
Greetings, brother. Yes, brother.
The field Negro. I want to touch just a couple things concerning racism. In my understanding, nobody has to accept me or believe me or not. I just share my drop of water in the ocean knowledge. That's the size of my knowledge. One drop in the ocean. I believe when you are racist, me, when I'm racist, because I'm fighting for my people. I'm putting my voice out, which I have done from 1977 up to the day that I'm now. And I tell them, a lot of people say to me, oh, but you, why you worry about the black people? And you don't look black, you look clear, you look this, you look that, you look different. I tell them, my hair tells me who I am. It don't matter if my skin look clear, however I look, but my hair tell me who I am and where my roots start. So Afro. So you mentioned a couple of other points too. People around the world, but in Belize, a lot of people are racist, and even some black people, because you have the crown, like the Garifuna and other reasons, when you travel around the districts, I realized I was an activist by birth. Because just like you mentioned, almost everywhere, north, south, east, and west, and the islands and in Belize, I always had to open my mouth loud because the moment they see me, the Hispanic people and the key north and west of Belize, the moment they see me, in their mouth, the first word to come to their mouth, the negro, a black man, right? And so I have to open my mouth, and when they hear me talking Spanish, and they know that I know the beat from the bush, or I know they bite my tongue for talk Spanish, that's when they try like to simmer everything I want, like be friendly and smile with me. But to me, they late because your first interruption don't show me already who you are and how you look at me. You mentioned Miami. When I was in Miami, I was in America by chance, not by choice. But I was in Miami and I stepped into a grocery store. And believe you me, about 10 people was in line at the cash register. But when it saw me, everybody split and the cashier looked at me like, you see, well, I don't know what to say, me. Or I can see, I don't know. But when I get to the cash register, they move out of the way. I'm happy. They move out of my way. And when I get to the cash register to ask so much for what I talk in Spanish. Everybody see my dome. You could see them concerned, they're happy, and they say no because they hear Spanish. They may expect to hear English. At the international airport some years ago, I was in the line to pay me departure tax heading to the U.S. because I was working on a cruise company. And the lady in charge of collecting the tax, she saw about 3 people behind me, but there was white people. They were behind me. So because she know what I mean, and the line she want to get rid of me, come here, wait, hold on. You give me the ticket without even charge me the $22, it was the departure tax. But I realized she so much want to get rid of me that she gave me the ticket without even charge. So I just walk away and not tell her nothing here. Because I said, you want to get rid of me? All right, pay for that. But that's a serious problem. Now I wrap up. Last night I listened to a famous radio program in another station. And somebody called and said that with the appointing of the new Pope in the Vatican, people will not be happy if they appoint a black man. But the thing is, the way I know, like, if they had said, well, African origin Pope or something like that, I would accept it. The more I don't accept because I know it's derogatory in most of the world, especially the Latin world. And the Vatican is not different because they speak Latin and Italian, and that's the one root. Italian, Latin, Portuguese, French, and it's here root. So they say on the news, the Spanish news, Univision and Telemundo, El Papa Negro, El Papa Negro, El Papa Negro. So that Negro, it don't be derogatory. They already start to act racist, and nobody no appoint yet. So imagine, I just give you some things. And finally, whenever I tell you something, sister, whenever I tell you something about any country in Central America or Mexico, any place down South America, I've been there. And I live, like Rastaman said, who feels it knows it. I live amongst I choose to go and live in different countries amongst the poor people, especially African descendants, whether Colombia, Honduras, anywhere, Nicaragua. I choose because I want to live the experience that they live on a daily life. Because all the countries, people they suffer, especially the Afros. And no man, I tell people too, no politician in no part of the world suffer, whether it is war, whether it's a hurricane, whether it's tsunami, or whatever it is, they don't suffer because they are the one that run the things for the big man. Respect, one love.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate the reasoning. And I did hear the conversation. I listened to the only media house I listen to right now, internationally, Al Jazeera. And there's an extended conversation because they're supposed to select the Pope. And the Pope who transitioned, a majority of the cardinals who were responsible to select the Pope, the people were he appointed. And the question was, will they be of a reformist mind, less conservative, similar to the Pope? And then when they asked, I had 3 guests, one European person, 2 identifiable African people, one from the continent of Africa, I guess an African descendant maybe from out of the United States. And the person from the continent of Africa was saying that because the continent of Africa have the largest growing population of people who have the Catholic faith. And so Hindu said that they're not to look for an African pope. They want one pope who will address the needs of the people. But then the one from the United States was very clear. The importance of adequate representation. The people, I think, were like the front runners, would be, I think, somebody from the continent, from the Philippines, and some other place. Like the chances are greater that it could be a person of color. Remember, no, Africa, that the continent of Africa, the lead with the amount of people who are identified of the Catholic faith. But the person, identifiable African descendant, when we were upon this talk show from Al Jazeera, talked about, and I thought that was so good because the brother from the continent may say, no matter if the person is African Pope or not. And the other person said, yes, it does matter because representation matter. And the truth is that you have racism within the Catholic faith. And so when you consistently look, it's at 2025, and your popes then are still primarily identifiable of European heritage. And so when the majority of the world population are people of color who have the Catholic faith, then who do represent we? Not like in YaYa we, because I don't know of the Christian faith. But I just thought the conversation was good to have people with such different views and mindsets. And remember, within the Catholic faith, the Pope would be the physical representation of the Creator on earth, and then they have the spiritual representation in Jesus Christ. And so I am, like, right now at it, the book heavy. I don't know if I'll bring it tomorrow. But anyways, the Vatican primarily don't want business. And people about the money. And again, taking advantage of people's knowledge and people just really buying into this faith business. And it's just sad. Anyways, thanks for the call, brother. And I'm going to talk about the bus service. So the recommendation is that the Ministry of Transport ought to consider having a WhatsApp number for Belizean commuters to set today what have we experienced using public transportation and really hold them bus operators accountable. And bus operators need to hold bus drivers and conductors and conductresses accountable. They definitely need some training for behave properly. They're out of order. The songs them on the bus, I mean, the most slick, dirty, nasty, then they blast the song there. That have to stop. And take a break and come back.
Ya balisi serute wa familia wama.
Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes, talk about all kind of things this morning. About BNTU, about the bus service, about Calibor need a scratcher. But I share his position on racism. I have to come back to BEL. Anybody see a press release from BEL? Why we had blackout last night? Anybody know? It was a countrywide blackout. The question is, why we had blackout in 2025. Now remember now, BL they asked for 506 million Belize dollars. And the part we add insult to injury. Then word it like, you're just going up 3 cents more per kilowatt. Instead of 40 cents per kilowatt, you're going up 43 cents per kilowatt. But that 43 cents per kilowatt, if PUC approve it, won't cover the 506.6 million Belize dollars when they asked for 2025. It's unacceptable. Unacceptable, BEL. And they always got a reason. There's some reason why they have the blackout. And you see how hot it hot right now? I don't know how long the blackout lasted. I mean, 20 minutes, 60 minutes, I don't know how long. But it impact people's lives negatively, especially if you deal with elders, people who might depend on oxygen, people who have special needs, people may have a respiratory, it impact, well, we don't even want to talk about appliances because we don't have no, amount of red tape they send you through if they even approve you for get financial compensation back for the surge or how it impact your appliance. That's why Belizean people will need to learn more about the legislation will regulate PUC, which is the Public Utilities Commission, and we need to advocate for Belizeans have one space, that we could share our discontent with the utility companies. Morning, talk to it.
Yes, greetings. It's me again. My 2 cents on the bus experience. In Belize City, I always used to wonder and pray that no accident happened during the time I ride the city bus. Because they are always chasing one another coming from West Landivar, UB to downtown Belize across the boulevard. Boy, it's like a racing thing. They are racing to reach to the terminal by Waterlin, by Mike's. But they don't think that they have children on board. They don't think they have adults on board. And I keep saying for many years, why should you have a public transportation or a public bus with only one entrance? You're supposed to have an entrance and an exit because in case of emergency, I want to know how could people possibly run out of the bus in just one direction.
But they have back doors for the bus, brother.
Could have jumped to a window, could have jumped to anything. What about the little children who are going to school? What about the elders that are on board? They can't jump through no window.
But they have back doors to the buses, brother.
Huh?
The buses have a back door.
Yes, but that back door again, that's the emergency door, and that emergency door, I repeat to you again, I don't think my granny and grandpa could jump through that.
I hear you.
I could do it. And I could hold a child, I could hold a young woman maybe up to the age of 40 or so, 50 maybe. But why would Ali granny or Ali grandpa, when sudden crash, sudden something happen, how can they ever jump to a back door? They not came. Many times, when these back gates are available, there's a padlock in the back of it. So then they have to run, go open that in case of emergency. I don't know how much time they're going to have available to do that. So in my traveling experiences around many different countries, the buses have entrance and an exit. The emergency door is not considered the one for you to come out. Those are only emergency. But when you go in the front, and you go back, you're going out in the back, through the back, and you're going out. The blasting music you mentioned is true. Sometimes I can't understand and take it. Oh, they blasting music like they're running a mobile blow, a mobile club, or a mobile bar. But then again, that driver fails to realize that he's serving the public. He's not serving himself. He's not driving a bus only for himself. It's public on board. People call you on the phone. You can't hear what they tell you because that is loudspeaker. So the speaker so much like it's a disco, mobile disco. Then our wrap up discrimination again. I travel from north to Belize City. As I get on the bus, I ask the man, can you please stop me at a specific area? No. This bus is a direct bus. We know they stop nowhere. And as soon as the man reach Orange Rock, immediately he stop from door to door. Okay, so that means the discrimination. You know what? Stop for me. But almost like door to door, he stop. Like every 10 minutes driving, he stop for somebody to pick up or to drop somebody. So then I open my mouth again. And I said, but I thought you said it's a direct flight. What happened? I asked you specific. So he no answer me, no say nothing. But I get my way. He stopped where I want to stop because I don't realize I see what they do. See? Now coming up back, riding from the bus terminal to about I forgot the name you said for call the bridge, the Belkan Bridge. What's the name again? The
Ibo Akan. Ibo Akan.
Okay.
EBOEAKAN. Ibo Akan.
I see the connection. Okay, before we reach there, the man don't pick up at least about 10, 15 people standing. Are we not reach the bridge yet? And then we cross the bridge. You continue the same way all the way until the pass Ladyville. And then you take one straight run, like about maybe a 30 minutes on straight. But as soon as you get to Orange Rock, the same thing starts again. Pick up this one, drop that one. I don't know. But you see that they are racist because they protect their race. Everybody that come from the north, they protect all those, as you pass Ladyville, they protect everybody and then they consider the northern people. So they do whatever the people want. But you don't come from that side, so they don't really care about what you say or what you want. And that's it for now. Wadada.
Thanks, brother. That's true, right? Anytime I catch bus to the corner of Vernon Street sometimes and the Boulevard. Any bus will go in Orange Rock, Corozal, 99% of the time, they know I stop. Now, then don't figure I'm not going out, and I know they probably want a seat for me, but down public bus, you have to stop there consistently. And I've experienced prejudice with buses from the north. I have. And so the prejudice and the bias does exist. Tomorrow I'll make one point to come and share the difference between prejudice, bias, and racism. Only European people of European ancestry, heritage, will present you look upon it and you then physically fit the description of European ancestry, only then could be racist because of the systems that were designed by them to continue being in a position of power and influence negatively against people of color. So only European people, to my knowledge, can be racist. Everybody else have prejudices and biases. And that's why they have this whole thought process of white supremacy. Anyways, I definitely want to touch on, I'm going to talk about BL and then blackout, but one of my brother left one voice note for me, and I intentionally not talk about it because that one of the reasons why I not do news and I like read news, that like the worst thing I could look forward to when I come on WB, that I have one morning like this morning. Even though I know that in reality as far as the violence, the bloodshedding, the impact on families, our family is still in mourning from losing a young family member who was active in street life. And after the guests we had this past Sunday and Sunday review, it make things add up. This is just, that's how we make for live as a people. My heart just broke for the family up north where according to the news report, the father made a drink, abused the wife, the son can't defend him. It's just Mother's Day, that Sunday. It's just like it sucked the energy right out of you. And we have so normalized it. Can you imagine? We must have at least second, maybe third generation of Belizean children who are now young adults who seeing one dead body out a road, blood, normalized. That's not nothing for them. That now they run for go say that who like for a child where brain ain't fully developed. That normal thing. Like that everyday thing. Talk about it like nothing like. And again, I just believe that it happened. One of my brothers say, this not done because big people involved. Now, that one thing for we say big people involved. I encourage Belizeans to go listen to last Sunday review. We had Brother Darius Figuera from Trinidad and Tobago, and him made a share about transnational organized crime federations. And the reason why they call them transnational is because they couldn't do the things what they do if they never infiltrate the different institutions that is state. So let's say the parliament, so politicians, active politicians, your immigration, customs, the court, everybody. And even though I've asked myself this question, I never come up with the answer. When you look around Belize, I mean the amount of buildings where they go up right now, construction, when you want to talk about the amount of mangrove where they knock down, for example, on the Philip Gorson Highway. Well, they're not highway, they're on a road. The amount of mangroves where they just get pushed down, and then up at the Blue Bend, they talk about they want to save mangrove, but then they push them down, building, they get pushed up. Like, you see how much, a matter like one air, how much new cargo space we got a key there, like about 4 or 5 for the sea. Once you jump the Ibo-Akan Bridge going from Belize City to Ladyville on the right-hand side, like 3 or 4 to right there next to each other. You have to ask yourself, where did money they come from? I remember now, when they deal with transnational organized federations, you're to talk about illicit goods. You're to talk about U.S. currency. And the only way you could get legitimized is if somebody will have one legitimate building and one legitimate business, wash the money for you. And then you, as guilty as the people in where offer, you say yes. So no, all the white-collar criminals were about you, but of course the media host and the patrol up primarily African descendants specialized as black people are the criminals. But you're not saying white-collar workers. We are like usually the office workers. They call blue-collar workers working class people. White-collar workers that ain't one we got suit and tie and are some murderers because of the things where they do. The blood with upon their hand because of the things where they eat. But out the road, people want to act like they're not people. On a dirty. Break time.
You may not get to see me very often, but out of sight.
Welcome back to Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. The time to shut the shop. Like I just remind people or tell people that today at 1:30 at the Nazarene Church in Belmopan is the memorial service for one of the former financial secretaries, Hugh McSweeney. He's our second cousin. For him, Pa, Uncle Jan, and my paternal grandmother, Georgia McSweeney, were sisters. So 1:30 today, Nazarene Church in Belmopan is the memorial service for Hugh McSweeney. Security guard when I come in this morning was Roger Rushford, aka Rapper. Right now that's Shane Flowers. The technical director here at XTV, Alexi Belisle, senior engineer Cliff Lewis, and downstairs at Crumraja, Larry G, known as Larry Guerrero. They're not exact 9 yet, but we're still shut the shop because sometimes we go past 9 a little bit, and we have immediately following the show, Morning Stew. The show will repeat at 3:30 this evening or this afternoon here at XTV. And remember to share the YouTube XTV Belize link and the Facebook XTV Belize link. Until tomorrow, I want to continue to enjoy my last day for V58. Listen, either 58 or 59 pay front way, back way, I give my cut, you know. So long I tell you about me, how old me and how old I want to be tomorrow. I'm having a good time as I continue to age and enjoy the seasons of my life. Until tomorrow, honor the people and save the people.
Wake up, Billy. Wake up, Billy. Wake up, Billy. Wake up, Billy. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Another day is here. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself. This is a show by people. Billies, our hopes up to needless reason. Nobody feel left out. Is the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Love.